Hi, I'm Enchanting Nubianette. It's so awful to hear about another massive tragedy. A crime of this magnitude affects so many people within the family, communities, and all over the country. In this case, dozens of people were hunted by Robert Card. 18 people are deceased and 13 injured. The oldest victim was 76 years old and the youngest only 14 years old. This is the eighth most horrific mass tragedy in history. 41-year-old Robert Card is a deranged suspect who committed this crime in Lisbon, Maine on October 26 using an AR-15 weapon. As you know, I'm unable to say the actual word on YouTube. 18 victims' lives were ended in two social venues, Just-in-Time Recreation, a bowling alley, and Schmennigan's Bar and Grill restaurant, where Robert Card visited previously on different occasions. These Maine residents, many who grew up in the town, were playing pool, participating in a cornhole tournament, having drinks at the bar, and enjoying themselves. The owner of Schmennigan's Bar and Grill told news media that he knows Robert Card. The suspect frequented his establishment. Now, he did not seem to have any knowledge of Robert Card being disgruntled or having problems with anyone. Another Maine resident, Liam Kent, who lived in close proximity to Robert Card and his family, shared they all were firearm fanatics who live in a type of compound. He blatantly said in quotes, "People knew to stay away from him and not to approach any of them," end of quotes. The young man told reporters that Robert Card and his relatives hunted often and consistently utilized their firearms like clockwork. Every day they used devices causing piercing, frightening noises, even near the schools. A few of his neighbors said they did not expect him to go off on the deep end, and nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary early on that Wednesday, that horrific day. Now, before I continue, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you all for watching. Let's continue. So, when this news story posted information, it was provided that Robert Card's mental health was not in good standing at all. He's a retired military officer with numerous arrests for domestic violence, legal issues, and more offenses. Also, he's an independent party voter. He is an expert on using his AR firearm, which has a long-distance lens used for distance. It's so tragic that once upon a time, this country would have considered him a hero whenever he served as an Army reservist. Now, years later, Robert Card's mental health makes a negative impact on dozens of lives. The main fact about Robert Card is he spent 2 weeks, I believe, in a mental hospital. In that case, were his arms seized after he was checked into the facility? Now, according to news reports, he's a trained firearms instructor. Unfortunately, predators always place themselves in situations or places to do their dirty work. I wonder how recently did he teach firearm classes? And here are a few things I wonder about. How long ago did Robert Card obtain his firearm instructor license or certification? Did Robert Card access his previous weapons after the mental breakdown? Is there any record of him purchasing weapons recently? Many of you might be wondering, what is being done to prevent individuals like Robert Card from being able to get their hands on weapons? Now, I did a lot of searching online, and according to 5 online sources, word-from-word data, it says federal law prohibits the possession or purchase of firearms by certain individuals who have been adjudicated as mentally ill, 18 USC.922. And over the past 25 years, approximately 2,700 potential weapon purchases per year have been denied at the background check stage as a result of this prohibition. So, depending on a person's mental illness, they will be prevented. Of course, there are certain illnesses which are less problematic, like some types of anxiety, eating disorders, social phobias, ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, to name a few. These mild mental illnesses are grouped by symptoms that are less intense. Plus, the symptoms won't interfere with an individual's daily task, such as employment, independent living, socializing. That is, in comparison to moderate or severe mental illnesses. In these cases, the individual will have a diagnosis that usually relies on medicine, counseling, treatment programs, or a combination of these. Now, going back to the question of Robert Card's access to weapons, we don't know what type of mental illness he was treated for. Whatever the mental issue was, Robert Card was in-house in a mental facility for 2 weeks or so. And we don't know how recent he needed the mental care from professionals. Reporters say it wasn't that long ago. State laws pertaining to firearm possession and purchase, along with categories of mental illnesses, vary. Some states are strict, some are moderate, and others are very lenient. The U.S. needs to have a better system in place for anyone buying and or selling weapons illegally. Maybe Robert Card had an arsenal of weapons, some that were registered and others that weren't registered. Plus, we know his family are weapon fanatics, so he could have got it from someone else. If someone purchases and registers weapons with a sound mind, is a system in place to seize those weapons if they develop a mental health problem later on? In that scenario, no one will know if the person is a threat or if they have the potential to unalive innocent people years later. Let's get these laws changed so all states will prevent individuals with moderate and severe mental problems from being armed. An estimate of 566 mass unalivings happened this year alone. No arrests have been made, and there's an ongoing investigation still for this ex-military officer. It's now 38 hours later. Law enforcement and everyone are intrigued to know his motives for the tragic incident. Robert Card's home was searched. Police, FBI, and task force members found a note left for his son. There's a water, air, and ground search for Robert Card right now. And Maine residents in specific towns are warned to stay home. And if they must go out, extreme caution must be exercised. And may all the victims rest in peace. Please leave your comments below. I would love to hear from everyone regarding this case, the 8th most horrific tragedy in history. Remember to hit the notification button, like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a million, and stay safe wherever you are.